Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to take just again a couple minutes to respond. Again, like as promised, okay, I said I'm going to respond to some of these responses of these trainers. Period. Once again, you got Kevin Murdaugh responding to again the back and forth conversation I had with Mark DeBose. It was a great conversation. Encourage you to watch the podcast. We get into several of these type of topics or things happening in the dog training community. And but here's the thing: I'll play some of this video, but getting this whole thing again, talk about why these trainers go on so much about their live streams, right? And you're going to see it here in a second. The issue about appearances. Okay, talk about the way to actually put the relationship to the test. Okay, to reveal truth as to the current perceptions of the dog towards their owner. Okay, there's a specific test. Murdaugh, did the test finally. Okay, after he could have done it a year ago. I kept talking about it. He wouldn't line it up. Finally, he did. Okay, and now you just look at all the issues. Now suddenly, he's admitting stuff that he never admitted before about the issues with Grey Goose. Oh, that's interesting. But let's play some of this because again, I want to respond to this video. My conversation with him, I should never brought him on my first podcast. I'll admit that. But the first thing, okay, I'll go to what took me the most time. Okay, in this video, I'll tell you honestly what took me the most time because this stuff he's putting out is like easy, kind of easy for me to respond to. This is what took. Hear the flute in the background. What the heck is that? So I went on and I tried to find where he got the flute music from, and I think I found it. From Kung Fu, David Carradine back 1976, I believe. So I believe that's where the flute in the back. I'm like, where is that flute? Like, why is that flute in there? It must be from an episode of Kung Fu. That I should have audited his method because what was the point that it all fell apart? Was when I got in. It's true. I mean, it's like, yeah, where did it all fall apart? Like I brought Murdaugh on like a long time ago, and I said I should never have had him on without auditing his method. Okay, that was totally on me because it was going to fall apart, right? I'm thinking, because again, but it fell apart at the point of, right, the contention, the objection. You see it all over, but this whole thing with the loose leaf, because it matters. The reason it fell apart is it matters. It's going to fall apart anyway, right? Because that's the thing about it. It's not like I'm wishy washy and I made a mistake of bringing him on, not auditing, but it was going to fall apart because when it hits that point, guess what? It doesn't matter who's on my podcast, right? Sparks are going to fly. Well, that just makes sense. Of course, they're going to fly. And he went crazy. He put up a bunch of videos, all upset. That's not my problem. It matters, right? The method matters. Into the loose leash thing, right? And he went crazy. He started putting videos up because that was the point of him being offended, right? It's all going to fall apart anyway because it will. Because I'm solid in what I'm saying. This is it. So if I have a conversation with somebody, trust me, it's all going to break down. Why the flute? At a certain point, if they have a certain idea, right? Because it matters. That's the point. It matters. The method matters. But all to say that, yeah, you went on there, but the thing is, good. I always believe good always comes out of everything, right? And so even in that conversation I had with him, good did come out of it because he got to see the test. He put himself, his arrogance, put himself in a position to actually show the real deal. There's no way around it. Anyone can put a test. I mean, the test is the test. Put him in that position of that leash method, which blew it out of the water right there. I already knew, but then he lined it up. He could have done that a year ago. He did it because he felt pressure from you having that conversation.
If you're able to get the results that you're happy with, and someone else can look at that and say, oh, that's not right, but yet you have something that pretty much anybody is like.
So it's the same thing. I talk about when we brought this up. It goes back into DeBose's, journey as a dog trainer. Say, well, your journey, you're a hypocrite or whatever. He's trying to package this all up to say, well, what matters where DeBose is right now. Everyone starts somewhere. That's the thing. I started within the parameters of learning, like way back when. my first police dog, but then I blew through it in a way to say there's something else happening here. And so, but someone could see, and this is the problem with guys like Murdaugh, right? It's like, he's trying to take things out of context. It goes back because he could go back on me and say, "Oh, Dale, with your first police dog, you started with, using food on the track and footstep in your head, big deal." Okay, so yeah, where am I at right now? Yeah, you have to go through stuff to figure it out, to arrive at what the truth is. He hasn't arrived. So who's he to say anything? So at least DeBose is being honest and transparent to say, yeah, I knew there was a fake and phony picture. I was trying to figure it out, moving through everything. Like, and that's how it works. You move through stuff. Murdoch hasn't moved through anything. But see, that's the problem. He's in a defensive mode, so he wants to try to do what exactly? Accuse, and that's what he's tried to do to me over and over again. Tries to go in and he's trying to leverage something. A lot of these trainers try to leverage, you try to get personal, right? Because if they can try to take you down at a personal level, they don't care what the real problem is in the dog training world. To them, that's like he said himself, he's not interested in all the controversies. It means nothing to him. Well, it means everything to somebody, that's actually figuring the stuff out. But he's not interested in that. He's already crossed the lines. He's already been turned over to this stuff. So for him, it's just about, and that's where that type of nasty, out of context, that divisive, but look at the dog training world, it's full of that stuff. What are these trainers doing to actually confront the real issue? They're not, because they're marketing the very ideology that is the problem, that's setting this counterfeit picture of motion. They're making money off of it. That's their whole fan base, right? What did Mark DeBose say in the podcast? Immediately when he started switching over, he lost like 1,000 subscribers. The trade-off, but willing to make it. That's the difference. So who's he to talk crap about somebody else? I mean, it's ridiculous.
Wanting and desiring.
But still, where's that?
It's really hard to say that what they do and how they are is just no good and it's all wrong and nothing's ever going to come from it. No one's ever going to get help from it. That's just a weird stuff to me. It's just like, that don't make no sense to me. That's the ego part of people that is just stuck in that one dead set.
That's why they want to dig stuff up, right? Oh,
this is it and can't be because they have never even had any. But the thing I guess I could say behind it all is, especially just nowadays, it's simple but not easy.
So here, this is where he switches to this. This is the main point of what I'm saying. He says, "I'll take your opinion seriously when either of you can do this too and show it." This is ridiculous. So what he's showing here is, again, this goes into his whole live streams. I wish I could get that flute in the background. Let's turn this down. That flute is so annoying. Let me move me over here a little bit. So you got Grey Goose floating around here off leash, right? I told you this. So understand there's attachment, right, through the relationship. It could be bad attachment, possessiveness. The dog's still going to attach to you and float around, but still can be holding a level of control in the relationship itself, right? Because again, the whole thing about, response, right? Dog floating around. A dog can be holding stress and looking kind of from the untrained eye, right? Without putting it to the test, say, oh, here's the thing. Think about this. That's what Heinz does all the time. Monty's a mess. I don't get it wrong. When I say mess, it means it's fixable. But he's admitted I don't have anything to prove to anybody.
I've got nothing to prove to anybody.
Where is the evidence?
Why would you not believe somebody, and why would somebody lie? That's just...
So he's trying to bring up things here, which, again, out of context, right? Like some of these guys here, yeah, they're exploiters, right? That's a whole force-free thing, right? They don't put it to the test like I put it to the test, right? So a lot of these individuals, they're playing the same shell game. The force-free side can get away with that. And so this is his virtue signaling, right? But when I say the test, right, that makes the system of training different. What makes what I'm saying different is that there is a test. Okay, there is a way to know for sure. This trainer he's pitching here, he ain't aligned with that. So why are you using him as a means to try to prove something? The dog training world is a mess. You got a lot of these, these people that are just all about the show, all about appearances. These are pretenders. Okay, the dog training world's full of pretenders based on appearances. So when he goes here and says, well, when you can show, like his dog floating around here off leash, what does that prove? Nothing. Okay, because you have to look at this and say, okay, what is how are the perception of this dog aligned? Are they aligned properly or not? There's only one way to know. He failed the test. Okay, I understand that. It's like it's blown out of the water already. So people can say whatever they want. Go look at that video, right? If Hines is do the same thing, you're gonna have the same response. That dog will lock down, spin, Monty go crazy, right? And so you're not gonna see it. But Hines will try to spin it right, but that's the shell game these trainers are playing. They're all doing it. Balanced dog trainers are doing it too. That's why you look on social media, you see these dogs floating around. Yeah, I showed one of Sean O'Shea too in the backyard with the dog saying, "Oh, the success." See, they're all doing it. Say, what does that mean? Dog's off leash. Let's see the test, right? That's the way to tell. See, they're not dialed in that way, and so Murdaugh is not. Anyway, so he'll take me serious when you. Well, you're never gonna take me seriously because I'm gonna put it to the test. Okay, the test that you fail. So I just want to respond. This is a joke. It really is. Okay, these trains. There's nowhere to go for him. There's no way out. There's no way out. People can say whatever his followers and people can say whatever they want. Go watch that video. I line it up. It's objective. Okay, it's not about what you think of me. It's not about my say about Dale's opinion. No, it's proven. Okay, you can line it up. I line it all up, and then just common sense. And then listen to all the stuff he's saying about Grey Goose's problems, his reactivity issues. He admits it all on video. You watch the Halloween video. I mean, you can dress it up in a costume, however you want to do it. Dress. I mean, you can't. But it's a shell game. I just lift the shell, say here it is. So he can play this any way he wants. There's nowhere to go. Done. Thanks for watching.